Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so the Lakers brought back a few names, or at least they're trying to. Haven't quite brought them back, but you'll understand what I'm saying. We extended qualifying offers to Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, and in regards to bringing back, we've exercised our option, $4 million option on Vanderbilt as well. So that is what the news is in regards to the LA Lakers. I'm very, very pleased about this because at the end of the day, when you consider what the Lakers' needs are right now, is to basically bring back everybody because the free agency pool is not very good. I think Austin Reeves is a player that could potentially get a max contract for what it is we're expecting. $100 million is probably what I'm expecting at this point. So I just think that that's something everybody needs to brace themselves for. Of course, that contract is going to have a heightened balloon at the tail end of it, but he's still a young player at that time. So as long as there's no injury seasons and he keeps a very, massive role, I think we'll be happy with Austin. He's going to play well. It's just a matter of how much that the cap anybody takes up so that our team can be deep. And we've been able to enjoy Austin Reeves on a rookie contract, so that goes out the window. So we're going to have to see how that goes. But, that's definitely a commitment the Lakers are going to be happy to make. On Rui Hachimura, we will see if the Lakers are able to keep that true. If he goes out and gets a max contract, that's going to be tough to do. But their intention is to keep him, and I'm supporting that as well. And then, of course, with Vando, him $4 million, you got to bring back Vando. That's a no-brainer. He could probably get 3 times that. In certain markets. Well, not the way we've been playing him, not the way he's looked in our system, but before he got here, probably 3 times that. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. Very happy to bring back Vando on a very affordable contract. I haven't seen the introductory press conference for Jalen Hood-Schifino and Maxwell Lewis as of yet, but I know that was had today, and so I plan on giving that a look probably tomorrow. But yeah, it's really exciting to have a whole new crop of young talent here, realized as Laker kids. Obviously you have your draft picks and stuff like that, but we didn't know what kind of draft pick we were going to get at the beginning of the season, because at the end of the day, we knew we had a swap situation. We didn't know how it was going to go, but it worked out in one of the best ways possible. We ended up with the 17th pick, and we were able to get Jalen Hood-Schifino. So I think that this is a very fortuitous situation. Got ourselves a young point guard that we really believe can go to a very high level. And I think that we're going to be excited about him and how he picks teams apart with his mid-range ability and his fantastic passing ability. So that's what there is to say there. And of course, Maxwell Lewis, the athlete, shooter, just overall fantastic prospect. I think he's going to be somebody that really develops well in our system, and I'm excited about what he can be for us. We're going to have to be patient with him on the defensive end, as we know, but the development tools are all very, very, very impressive. And so I just want to see us get the most out of Maxwell Lewis, and I think he's going to be rather happy to stay in California since he played at Pepperdine. So I think this is a great fit, some great prospects, and I hope that we don't trade them. I legitimately hope that we do not trade them. I know that the idea is to try to bring back everybody and then just go forward and maybe make trades that make sense from there. But there could be opportunities for the Lakers to do something big, and when they do, these are going to be the players they're going to want in return. So we need to be prepared for that. Obviously, we're excited about Max Christie. We talked a lot about his weight gain and how he looks yoked up and ready to go. So we're excited about the work he's putting in. And of course, everybody that the Lakers have brought in. There was another guy I keep forgetting to watch footage of this dude. It's only about 3 minutes of highlights that I need to watch there, because there wasn't a whole lot of playing time on the highlights available in the various videos that I saw of this individual. But I saved some, so I'm definitely going to check him out and bring something back to you, let you know what kind of prospect we got there. But I like that our scouts are fully activated, doing exactly what they do to bring us talent around this time of year. And with Summer League right around the corner, I think we're one of the more exciting teams to pay attention to. And just, knock on wood, hopefully everything goes well with these guys having a great Summer League, and I want to win the whole championship, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's what I want to see happen. Let's bring the Lakers back to glory, since we have one of the better teams on paper this year in the summer league. It really isn't a whole lot to say about LA Lakers right now, because really the news is just preliminary. We're in the dog days of the summer. Well, really not the dog days. I'd say that's more like August, after free agency, after everything's in place. But right now it's just kind of like the preparation for free agency. Not a whole lot to report other than, the news media basically trying to push Dame Lillard into one of these big markets. It ain't really a whole lot else to talk about in regards to this moment. But I do expect there could be a trade coming around the corner at some point. Now, one player I want to talk about for the Lakers in terms of free agency, because we need to find a center, and I know this is a guy that we may want to look at, is Christian Wood. That's who I'm talking about there. Dallas Mavericks. They really played his value down to something that it's not supposed to be. And I think that's because Jason Kidd just didn't trust him at all. But the Houston Rockets were able to get a lot out of him offensively. And I think that's something that, if utilized correctly, can be an asset to a team. Now, the problem is, I don't really know how to utilize him properly. Because if you're going to leave him on the floor, he's going to give up a lot offensively. And so, defensively, rather. And offensively, he's going to be able to score, but he's limited in some ways. And so I don't know if people don't look at him as just a zero type of player, to where everything he does, he's going to give up on the other end. And so you don't really get any production at all in the end. And you don't want to leave him on the floor too much because of it. I don't know that I bring in a player like that even on a discount if that's what I'm expecting. However, here's the situation that I think Christian Wood is most going to benefit from. Being next to a player that is highly defensive, or being next to several players that are highly defensive. And of course, we have Anthony Davis, who is that. I think a good place for him to be probably would be the Lakers next to Anthony Davis. But I think of places like Orlando, where everybody's defensive and long anyway. Next to Wembanyama, even though you don't want to have Wembanyama have to do so much defensively, you can get the most out of Christian Wood in a backup role in that situation. Cleveland, backup role there in Cleveland with those stilts. If he has one on the floor next to him at all times, it'll take away from some of the things he's not going to do defensively in theory. That's the type of situation. Backing up to the Pistons, where he was once before. I think that role for power forward is necessary for him to probably fill that just in general. He should probably go up there in general. They need a power forward. Yeah, that's the type of thing, man. Where they're already centers, where they're already defensive bigs. Maybe Toronto next to Porto or something like that. Even though I know, and Scotty Barnes, I don't know. But that's the type of situation I think that he's only going to be best for. Because if he's asked to play any defense whatsoever, it's not happening. And while that is the case for a lot of players who are really, really talented offensively, for whatever reason, it doesn't translate to any success with him in terms of winning. When he was with the Rockets on the floor a bunch of times, they were not really successful. Now, I know they were tanking, so I don't know how much of that has to do with that. But there's just not enough of a sample size from him playing at a high level to think he's going to be that going forward. And so that's what I'm concerned about. If I bring him on, what is the good there? Because Dallas didn't seem to get any good out of him. And when I refer to when he played really well, there was no success. So that's what I have to assess if I'm trying to bring him in. Where is the winning going to come in? Can he be utilized properly anymore? Is there a reason why you can't get the numbers out of him that they were able to get out of the Rockets for some reason? These are things I need answered. And so that's why I did not mention him as a center prospect for the Lakers, even though he's from Long Beach, California. I was high on him about 2 years ago. And I know his value is low, so you'll likely play it up to a higher value if you bring him in on the right role. Which is why I don't think he's the worst player in the world for the Lakers. It's if you got him coming off the bench in a certain type of role, where you're asking him to score and that's it, good things can come from that. But he's a little too expensive to be asking of that from him. This is where I enter another player by the name of Trey Lyles. Now, that's somebody I really like. Another player who played with the Detroit Pistons in the past, made his name just now with the Sacramento Kings. I doubt they let him go. But I'm telling you, if for some reason they do, that's a player who really helps a lot of teams because his efficiency and his shot making, all the things that people love the most, he's really, really efficient at that. And he showed me some things on the board, and with his aggression, he's developing well. Even though it took some time, where he's at right now is a very, very formidable shooter who's probably going to contribute to winning. He looks like someone who's going to contribute to winning. And that's why I would love to bring in a guy like Trey Lyles right now. That is exactly why. Because I look at him as a Robert Horry type. He's going to hit shots. You know, and you're not going to ask him to be too much, but he's going to do a lot within the role that you ask him. And that's what he's just slowly getting a little bit better, I don't know what his upside is from here. Weighing him against the field, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't be certain. If you overpay for him, you're not going to regret it deeply. But prying him away from Sacramento could really help cripple some of what that Kings team is. And you're going to want to do that. Because I definitely think the Kings are coming in as a potential contender this year. I definitely think that. So that's what I want to say. You can get Trey Lyles up out of there. I think it'll go a long way in helping everybody out in the Western Conference, dealing with those Sacramento Kings. Obviously, Rashad Holmes is gone. So it's a lot of stuff that's kind of shaked around up there in Sacramento. I don't think they brought anything in of noteworthiness in the draft. They may have brought in a pick or two, but nothing that really goes crazy in my mind. What did they bring in, yo? I don't remember. But I do know that they made a trade with the Dallas Mavericks, if I'm not mistaken, in the draft, and did something there. Of course, we talked about Rashad Holmes being a part of that. Yeah, so that's nothing big there. Nothing big. They've shaken some things around, though, so I think that Sacramento could be in place to make a trade of some sort to kind of make their team make sense, given the fact they did not get Bradley Beal, because I know they were going after him. So, yeah, they're a team to pay attention to. So, yeah, that's what I got to say, man. That's really where my head is. Laker fans, obviously, you know, we have a lot to consider with Summer League coming up and with all these young players coming in. You just wonder if we're going to trade them away from Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, because there's always something lurking in the background with everybody talking about it. But, you know, I'm not against bringing in Miles Turner. I don't think I want to give away young prospects to get him. But if it's going to cost me like a Malik Beasley and a Mo Bamba, and of course I'm happy to do that. But the thing about it is, are those really assets? Or do we have to pay to get rid of them? Because, no one actually wants Malik Beasley at $16 million. Nobody in their right mind. And nobody wants Mo Bamba at $10 million at this point. Nobody in their right mind. So the likelihood that we're able to get rid of that for something without giving up something we don't want to give up, I don't think it's very high. Man. I think we're going to have to give up at least somebody, prospect, something. Demoy Hodge and something else. We're going to have to give up something of value to probably pry ourselves away from that thing. A second rounder, maybe even more than that. Now, I've been wrong about these things, because sometimes these returns you see, you're like, man, I thought they would have to pay to get rid of it. They just took back garbage. So maybe this is one of those type of situations. But I don't see us taking back anything good for those two. Nothing good. Not like we've been talking about doing. Nah, that's not realistic. Nobody wants either one of them two at that price. Mo Bamba might have some value because of the center market that we've been talking about. But at $10 million based on what we've seen, nah, that almost negates it right there. People overpay for things every day. But that is an overpay. Now, by the end of the season, it doesn't have to be. If you start him and he plays a full season, it's definitely not. But nobody wants to pay him $10 million a year right now. Nobody wants to do that. So that's really where we're at right now. I just don't think we did ourselves any. Well, it's not our fault. He got hurt, so we couldn't really showcase him. But Mo Bamba getting hurt really hurt us, because I thought maybe we could play his value up instead of having it where it is right now. Maybe even be excited about him starting the season with us, but right now we're just like, nah, trying to get rid of him and he's not worth nothing. You know what I mean? So that's really the situation. And I don't want to give up Vando. I know he's starting to float around in trade rumors just because of what it is he's worth at $4.5 million. He should be a very attractive trade piece. So that's probably who people are going to want you to throw in. Now that I think about it, that's probably who people are going to want you to throw in. And so I'm not on board with that. as you guys already know. But at the same time, I also don't know that Vando's going to play his value up to what it is it should be on this team, so long as our coach doesn't really play him that well. He'll play him, but not well, to get the most out of him. Can't get none of him offensively, etc. It makes you wonder if he's not also a player that should probably be traded before you next see him. Because if we don't play up his value and we're not able to get him out there looking good, it's not the same Vando in terms of his value. It's not the same. Now, why do you care about value when you're considering a player being a mainstay on your piece? I don't know that you do too much, to be honest with you. If you just know you're going to keep a guy, I don't think it really matters. But the problem is we understand that when you have value of players, it affects other things, as we've talked about on this channel so much, to where you kind of just want everything on your team to be very valuable, I guess. I mean, that's obvious, but based on what it is we're talking about, it's just best if everything is up to par. So, yeah, that's what I'm trying to express. I think that Vando not being up to value could be weird, even though he's at such a great price. You want to play him up higher than that. You want him to be a $10 million guy a year guy for you at $4.5 million. You see what I'm saying? That way, you're actually getting the most out of him. Because otherwise, the way we've been using him like a $2 million guy. As to which $4 million is overpay. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's not who he actually is, but that's how we've been playing him. And so that's my concern about bringing in any center whatsoever. That's my concern about bringing in non-shooters. It's the will Darvin play them factor. I don't know. I really legitimately don't know. And I say the same thing about the Phoenix Suns in regards to picking up centers. Is Frank Vogel even going to play those guys? You may be spending money on a center and you may find out they have no role. So that's something I would caution both of these teams to be very careful about. But yeah, that is what's on my mind. I think I've said all I want to say in regards to the Lakers specifically. I was going to make this a full-fledged Laker video, but obviously I brought in other teams. So no, I think it's going to be both. But that's pretty much what I got, man. Hopefully the NBA world gives us more to talk about. I'm ready for a trade to really get my mind activated. Right now we're just speculating about stuff, but it's still kind of exciting when you consider what type of talent is just coming to the league with this draft. You know the NBA has changed, and you know teams are going to react to it. That's the bottom line. So that's what I got to say. BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.